All right, we're going live on Facebook. This is John and Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Dad?
I'm doing pretty good. This is what occasionally happens at the Schober household when one of my kids asks me a question. I go, "We should go live on Facebook and answer this question." And now the first thing I want to know is we're gonna have to have a little bet here because this could be like a total train wreck,
right?
Okay, or there could be some actual value in our lives.
Sure.
So Rachel, what do you think on, what's your percentage, train wreck or value? Where do you think we're gonna go?
Well, I mean, this is our first time doing anything live together, so that kind of
that kind of weighs on the train wreck side of things.
That said, I think it's pretty valuable information, especially for somebody in my age and spot in life. Like,
should we invite? Hey, by the way, hi Kim, hi Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. Y'all can weigh in as well. Do you think it's going to be train wreck or value? But go ahead, keep going.
Well, for I'm in college and looking into careers and all that, so I know that the content will be valuable.
And what are we going to talk about?
How about resumes?
Resumes for college students or resumes for anyone?
Well, you see, one of my assignments this week is to turn in a resume for my college class, but I want to use it so that I can, use it for anyone, anywhere, at any time, at any point in my career.
So, train wreck or value? Where are you at?
I think I'm leaning towards value.
You're leaning, like give me a percentage.
Like percentage, let's say.
You think it's? What do you think?
I'm in a really good mood today. I'm going to say I'll say 90% value.
You think it's gonna be 90%
I think it's
value?
90%.
I'm betting 80% train wreck. I'm betting 80% train wreck.
Well,
hey John, thanks for joining in.
If nothing else, it'll be value because it will be entertainment. Right?
It will. Well, that's true. So if it is a train wreck, one of the great things when you roll up on a train wreck, you can't take your eyes off of the accident. So hopefully, we're gonna do that. But if you are in a job search or thinking about writing a resume, there's a 10% chance that you may get some value out of this. Should we invite some of your friends that are college students? I think
that'd be. Are you friends with my friends who are college students?
I have no idea. I don't. Who are any of your friends? Do you have? This is terrible. Who are your friends? You're asking. Okay, maybe we shouldn't do that because they'd be like, well, you didn't name me. I thought I was one of your friends.
Yeah, maybe we won't.
Okay, we'll try that. All right. So let's dive right into the potentially valuable content that we have here. All right.
All right, sounds good.
So what started this little conversation off this morning?
Well, so I have this.
And by the way, you have to have your coffee too, because if you're going to do coffee with John and Rachel, you have to have coffee. And by the way, thank you, John David. John David has got this great coffee. I think it's called
Death Wish coffee.
Death Wish coffee.
It's so good.
It is so good. It's fantastic. Highly recommend.
It's like coffee in velvet liquid form.
Yes. If I had an affiliate link, I would give you an affiliate link so that I could support my own coffee drinking habit with it. But maybe we can see if there's an Amazon link. Maybe if you can buy it on Amazon, maybe I could put an Amazon affiliate link. John David, if you're here, look and see if you can buy it on Amazon and then post my affiliate link for, what is it called? Death Wish Coffee. Okay, so anyway.
So this weekend, I started working on an assignment that's due on Monday. And it's
when was this assignment given to you?
It was I was able to see it beginning the week before classes started, but it's just one assignment every week.
Right. Okay. But we're Saturday, and you're getting started on something.
Well, no.
Okay. I got to go ahead.
I got started on Wednesday, but then I didn't actually finish it.
Okay.
Until yesterday. Anyway, so I had to write a resume for a technical writing class.
Okay.
And this morning we were talking about something completely unrelated.
We were talking about LinkedIn marketing.
Yeah. Which I guess is kind of related.
Well, it is, because resume is kind of a marketing tool.
True.
So we were talking about LinkedIn marketing. That's a conversation for another day. Don't worry, that train wreck will not be in this video.
No, not in this one.
Okay, so we were talking about LinkedIn marketing, then you said resume.
And I was like, hey, can you consider my resume? And he's like, what's the purpose of a resume? And I was able to give him the textbook answer.
Well, let's provide a little bit of context. Okay, so I do work with people who are typically mid to senior level professionals that are in a job search. So I have literally seen hundreds, probably thousands of resumes. So I have a certain opinion about
Right.
about resumes. So anyway, you said, hey, how do I write a resume?
Yeah.
And then what did I do?
Well, he asked me what is the purpose of a resume.
Yeah, this is unfortunately you're a homeschooling child, and so you know, in our house very frequently when my kids ask me a question, my answer is oftentimes in the form of yet another question.
This is very
because
true.
this is part. What is that called? It's called the
rhetorical
what's
learning.
the rhetorical learning? I know someone can post. It's something. It's one of my classical conversations people. What kind of learning is that when you keep asking questions? Dialectic. Yes, dialectic learning.
I don't know, both of them.
Oh, I need to drink a bottle of water. Okay, I'll do that later. And I have to do 10 push-ups. But I'm not going to do that right now because nobody wants to see me do those push-ups. That would be
that's a train wreck.
That would be bad. That would be an absolute. Oh, Socratic method. Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate
there we
that.
go.
Okay, so writing a resume. So you asked me a question. Let's get to the valuable content of this show.
Okay. So I asked him a question.
Okay.
And then he asked me another question. He asked me what is the purpose of a resume, and I know that there's a better answer, but in the textbook that I got, the answer is, quote, to sell yourself. And that's about it.
So the question is, what is the purpose of a resume? And your textbook said to sell yourself, which that sort of launched me.
It did.
That became like there was this spew of information that came forth.
And he was like, wait, everybody stop. Let's go get dressed and do
we need to do a video. Because I mean, yes, it is a resume is a marketing piece.
Right.
Okay. And so it certainly is about sales. But I think the problem that people make, and you're early in your career, okay? You're still in college. This is kind of your first time to do it. But the important thing is the purpose of a resume, it's not about getting a job. It's really about starting a conversation with someone. And I think that's like a really valuable piece that a lot of people kind of miss out on the purpose of it. I had to adjust the thing. Is the purpose of a resume is start a conversation. Now, obviously, the conversation is about work.
Right.
Okay, and it is a persuasive conversation that you're writing. So now the question to you is, what is the format that you use for persuasive writing?
Well, I haven't written a persuasive essay in a while.
I'll give you a hint. I'll lead you down the rumorless path.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the profession that your grandfather and uncle are in?
Pastor.
They are pastors. And what does a pastor do?
Well, they have to persuade.
they do persuasive writing and persuasive speaking.
Yeah. So in a persuasive essay, you acknowledge, I did a lot of the kind of comparison style. That's the way I like to write.
Okay.
So you acknowledge an issue, a problem, something, and then you kind of acknowledge different ways that you fix that problem, or different ways that you go about addressing it. And then again, I like to do comparison style. So it's like, okay, there's this option where you can do A, B, and C, or you can do X, Y, and Z, and here's why this is better, here's why that is better, pros and cons. I wrote the majority of my papers.
Yeah, so that's kind of A-B comparison, and then A is better than B. I'm gonna give you a format, and this is part of that 10% that's valuable, because if you get this is really cool. When you're writing persuasive papers, and it doesn't matter whether you're writing a resume, hopefully Jennifer's not watching, but on the occasional times that I do it right, and I try to persuade my wife, this is a good way to do it. I don't usually do it correct. But there really is a format for any kind of persuasive speaking, persuasive writing that really works. Hi, Paul. How you doing? So it goes to what you're trying to do. So my dad, your grandfather, is a pastor, and as a pastor, a pastor is a shepherd, and the pastor tries to guide their flock to streams of calm waters. And when you write a persuasive paper, you want to do the same thing. You're trying to guide your audience, guide your little flock to a right choice. And so here's the format. If you think of pastor as an acrostic, so PASTOR. Here's the format that you want to follow whenever you're writing any kind of a persuasive thing. P is for pain. Hey, Paul read 1,000 resumes a year. That's pretty cool.
That's a lot.
So P is for pain.
Okay.
So what's the pain that the person has that you can solve? And this is really important when you're in a resume or a job search. The only reason anyone gets hired is because they solve a pain.
Right.
And the thing that moves people to the top of the list in terms of interviews is their ability to clearly articulate what pain they solve. And the problem with most resumes is they're generic. They're fluff. They say this, I work with global cross-functional organizations to fix widgets. Everyone does that. Everybody does that. Okay, so you've got to be really clear on what your pain is. Now here's what I teach people to do that are writing a resume is I say you need to come up with your true north statement or your pain statement, and that is I solve X pain for Y organizations by doing Z, and here's my results.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of becomes sort of your true north. What's the pain that you solve? What kind of organizations you're looking for? What is it that you do? Right. Okay, and then give me some history of how you've done it. Now, you don't have a lot of history.
Not much.
Because how old are you?
19. Okay,
you're 19. I was going to say 18, but I sometimes forget. Okay, so P is for pain. So what's the pain that you solve? A is for amplify. Okay, what happens if this pain does not get resolved? The pain is I'm fat and I'm out of shape and I'm huffing and puffing coming up the stairs. Okay, that's the pain.
That's a pain.
The amplify is if I don't get into shape, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna be able to see my beautiful daughter's wedding.
And that will amplify my pain.
And that'll amplify my wife's pain.
And, yeah.
Right. So bad stuff will happen.
Right.
Okay. Now, I get it. You can kind of do what's the pain, what's the gain. I will tell you, most people react to pain. Okay. Think about this. Things when you have made a decision, has it more likely been because the pain became so unbearable that you had to make a change, or was it that you saw the gain so great and that motivated you? Now, that may be both, but most people, unfortunately, react to pain. Okay, so yeah, you can kind of flip this. You can do a gain conversation, but let's just stick with pain. So what's the pain? I'm going to amplify. Number 3 is S for story. Here's a story.
Like
here's a story. And again, this is what people, when they're writing a resume, okay, so I'm looking over here, it has, job description and what are the things you did. Again, that's boring. Okay, having read thousands of resumes, most of them look the same. What's going to really move you to the top is, can you tell a story? Okay, while I was at Taekwondo, while I was at Rise Martial Arts, I helped lead a group of kids and instructors to rise to their best.
Right.
Okay, and I did this through developing character stories about character traits and using martial arts as a way to build those character traits. Okay, that's a powerful story.
Yeah.
Okay, and while you were at by the way, this is a shout out to Steve Barkley, Steve and Tammy and Jimmy and David, and Rise Martial Arts. We love Rise Martial Arts. So
Shameless shout out.
Shameless shout out. Again, if I had like an affiliate link for Rise Martial Arts, I wish I had an affiliate link.
That'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be.
But if you're in Pflugerville and you want to Taekwondo, check out Rise Martial Arts.
Yeah.
So you have these stories.
Right.
Okay. And in your resume, you can have, 1 or 2, maybe 3, just little paragraphs. Okay. Little story. How did you solve this problem before? Okay. And then T is for testimony.
Okay.
And this is the biggest thing that people, in terms of a resume, this is the biggest thing that people leave out is their testimony.
All right.
A lot of people probably in your does your resume format even have like references available upon request? Does it have that? By the way, I'm pointing over here because her laptop.
My laptop.
Don't spill the coffee. Don't spill the coffee.
You can't really see it.
Yeah, you can't see your laptop
at all. But it's the format that my textbook is telling me to use.
So I'm curious. Does it say anything about references?
Yeah. So it says that well, it depends because it linked to a different source. So the main textbook was like, some people put references available upon request, and they're like, you don't have to worry about that because recruiters know that if you're applying for something, you'll have references. On the other hand, one of the videos that it linked to was saying, if you have room, put 1 or 2 actual people, like, hey, so and so, here's their phone number.
Okay.
References.
I'm going to tell you, references are the most underutilized part of the resume. Okay.
I totally believe that.
Everybody. If you are looking for a job and you are writing a resume, you need to have references, or to follow our pastor, you need to have testimonials. There is nothing more powerful than when a third party says, I worked for Rachel. Rachel is a great lady. She's a wonderful person, and she helped my child develop their character, develop their martial arts skills, and become a better person. Like, that's extremely powerful, okay? And so if you're out there writing a resume, you need to have some people, you need to have some testimonies. Now I'm going to go a little bit into the weeds just for a minute. So this might be part of that 10%, okay? The 10% value. If you have LinkedIn, so for those of you that are on LinkedIn, this is like, you need to go through your LinkedIn and, ask for your coworkers and stuff. If there's someone that you've worked with, get them to write you a recommendation on LinkedIn.
You can do that on LinkedIn.
Yes, you can do that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I really need to learn LinkedIn.
Okay, and this is like what's really cool, because then if you have it on LinkedIn, it shows you on LinkedIn.
Right.
Okay, and then when you're wanting to write a resume, guess what? You just use their stuff, okay, and you put it in your resume. Okay. Now, when you ask someone for a recommendation, try to give them enough breadcrumbs to where they can write a good resume for you. Okay, so a good good recommendation. It's great that you're a good person and you're fun and all that. I mean, that's good. That's okay. But the purpose of a recommendation is to help build that I solve X pain for Y kind of organizations by doing Z. So when you go out and you ask someone for a recommendation, you may say, hey, Bob, do you remember that time that we worked on this project and we did such and such? Would you mind just writing a little bit of a recommendation about, our time together and what the results were? So yeah, it's great for them to say, I'm a good friend, have them incorporate that, but really make sure that, try to guide them, that they put a little meat on the bone. That becomes very powerful.
All right.
Okay. And
even as somebody without very much professional experience, I can already tell you that testimony and recommendations are super important. For example, I babysit nanny a lot, and I have gotten phone calls and text messages from people 3 degrees of friend of a friend of a friend away, because
third party recommendations. And people, if you need help, building your network and asking for stuff, I mean, that's huge in the job search, and it's one of the things.
More about who you know than what you know.
It's a lot of that, and I spent about 15 years at Dell, big global company, 40,000 employees, whatever it was, and I didn't realize that in that big organization, a lot of these things about like relationships and organization, like the structures were kind of already in place. Right. I kind of knew, okay, that team was over here, this team was over here. And when I left Dell and kind of put my own shingle out and said, hey, I'm a consultant, it really took me a while to sort of figure out how to build those kinds of connections and those kinds of relationships. And this is a shout out to Joey McGurr. So Joey McGurr, if you hear, he gave me the best piece of advice.
What did he tell you?
He said, John, you need to have, in the course of a year, you need to have 100 cups of coffee with 100 different people in the course of a year. And I took his advice. I did that. And that was, and it was just like, I mean, I would just have coffee with anyone.
Right.
And I always asked them, this was a question I always asked when I met with someone, for the first time or whatever, that it goes back to the pain.
Right.
Okay, because you want to focus on pain. You get hired because of pain. You get paid because of pain. Okay, that's
You
that's
get
it.
fired for causing pain.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially.
Okay, but you know, no one cares about. It's not about what you do or who you are. It is about, do you solve a pain, and is that pain actually valuable to me? Okay, so there are some pains that, and this is why that, you know, I solve X pain for Y organizations. You can have, you know, two organizations can have the same pain. Let's call it accuracy. Okay, let's say you're really detail oriented. You know, you're a stickler for detail. In a lot of organizations, you know, good enough is fine. Okay, and perfection, you know, is sort of considered, you know, perfection is the enemy of good enough.
Right.
Well, if you're really a detail-oriented person and you're kind of a perfectionist, like, you kind of need to know, if your organization sort of thinks that perfection is the enemy of good enough, then you need to find a different kind of organization.
Maybe that's not the right fit.
That's right. So maybe you want to look at like a healthcare industry, where, like, you know, if you get it wrong, people die. Or financial services, highly regulated industries. Engineering, right? If you mess something up, the bridge collapses, people die. Bad news. You know, financial services, if you get it wrong, people go to jail. Okay, so you know, that would be like highly valuable to those kinds of industries. To someone like me, that's like a consultant or a coach, good enough is just fine. Okay, and so think about those kind of things. So that was a bit of a, I don't know if that was the 90% train wreck conversation or 10% value, but we were talking about the power of testimonials. And the see if we come back,
keep tying it back in.
we keep tying it back in. So third-party testimonials, you want to have a testimonials. Use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an extremely powerful way to get those kinds of resources. Hey, Talisa, how are you doing? Thanks for joining.
Hi.
And by the way, if you have questions, thoughts, or comments, or if you just want to vote on if this is train wreck or value, leave a comment, or like send me a like or something, so that I know that you're out there. Okay, so using LinkedIn to get testimonials and incorporating those. Thank you, I appreciate that like. Incorporate those testimonials into your resume, and I'll actually show you in a second.
Like how to do that?
How to do that.
Okay,
maybe cool. I'll print it out. So pay is for pain, A is for amplify, S is for story, T is for testimonials.
So really, that's a continuation of the story. It's the end result of the story.
It's third-party validation.
Okay.
Right, and it's not me saying I did this.
It's somebody else.
It's someone else saying that you did it.
Okay.
Extremely powerful. By the way, here's a bonus. You want a bonus?
Sure, bonus.
Okay.
Great.
Pictures. Pictures.
According to the textbook, I'm not allowed to use color or anything like that.
They're stupid. Okay.
Another thing that they said is that, so again, like college students, so I'm like career fairs and recruiters and that kind of organizational setting. Anyway, and they're like, you know, recruiters look at the thousands of resumes a day, and they have like 6 seconds. You have 6 seconds to capture their attention, which I believe that at a career
That's
fair.
Absolutely true.
That makes sense. Why the heck would I do something black and white?
Heck.
Why in the world would I ever do something black and white with nothing to stand out to like make me different than anybody else?
Absolutely.
They all say use black and white.
Use black and white. They're totally wrong. Incorporate color. Have a picture. Have a professional headshot that you're using. And here's this was funny. I was reading this article. It was an HR consulting company article, and they were actually talking about, no, don't put your picture on your resume. And I had to kind of laugh because it was on LinkedIn. Okay, the article was on LinkedIn. In the link to the article, they had a picture.
Of course.
To the link of a person.
We click on pictures.
We click it.
We like pictures.
See this beautiful. Oh, see this beautiful. See this beautiful face. God created us to recognize and be attracted and interact with other human beings. It is a God design. Faces are part of our DNA of how we react to faces, and faces create attraction. So
I can't even tell you the amount of times on like just Facebook groups, I'll scroll through past posts that have no pictures, but then somebody will post a picture of something completely unrelated, themselves,
And
their baby, their puppy,
yeah.
and they literally say, picture for attention.
That's right. And going back to the purpose
Yeah.
of your resume, it is a marketing piece.
Right.
It is a job marketing piece. Can you imagine getting a letter in the mail that had no color, a marketing piece that had no color and no pictures on it?
Straight to trash.
I mean, it would go, I mean, yeah, you went straight to trash. Okay, so use your picture, and when you incorporate your recommendations from the third parties, this is the beauty of LinkedIn.
Throw in a picture of them.
You take their profile picture from LinkedIn next to their. Can you see my hands? I'm doing this thing with my hands. But we're I don't know, we're mirrored. But incorporate their picture with their quote. Okay.
Right.
So that you have human faces. Now, if you are going to use a picture, go get a professional headshot. Okay, not a glamour shot. Okay, but this is not you and your friends on the beach in Cozumel having vacation. Okay, go get a nice.
That was y'all last week.
We had a good time. But this is going to be the 90% train wreck part of the conversation. But this is valuable information. So I learned valuable things in Cancun, and the valuable things that I learned is if you're going to go snorkeling for like 3 hours in Cancun and you're going to have a great time in the ocean, you're going to swim, you're going to dive, you're going to see starfish, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff, take your iPhone out of your pocket first. That's just note to self. Note to self, do not go snorkeling with your iPhone in your pocket. My iPhone did not make it.
That's a train wreck right there.
That was definitely a train wreck. Okay, so back to pain, amplify story, testimonials, and O is for offer. Oh, we have no one watching. If you're watching right now, like in recorded, hit like or say that you're watching right now. Okay. So O is for offer.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in the context of a resume, your offer is, I am searching for these kinds of positions at this kind of company. That's sort of your offer.
Okay. If
you were doing sort of selling, your offer might be, buy my coaching services or, buy this widget or whatever. But the offer is, what is it that you're wanting? How are you going to package this thing together? You're looking for full-time employment. For some people, if you're a little bit more on that mid to senior level range of things, you may be considering, do I want a full-time position or am I wanting to move into a consulting position? Your offer is where you would frame, I'm looking for a full-time position or I'm looking for a consulting position. And R is for response. Okay, response, your call to action. Okay, hire me, call me, email me, click here to buy, whatever it is. Now, in your resume, okay, in your job search strategy, you need to be aggressive. Okay, this is not the time to be passive and just say, oh, call me. In fact, on your resume, what I would do is when you send out these letters is, in the letter, I will call you the afternoon of Tuesday the 21st. If you would like to get a hold of me before then, here's my number, here's my email address. But you need to be aggressive because just about every job that you're looking for, there's dozens to hundreds of people applying for that same position.
Right.
You need to take the lead. You need to be aggressive about it. This is not the time to be passive and hey, call me, hey, call me maybe. That's not the time for call me maybe. This is, I'm going to call you on Tuesday. If you'd like to get a hold of me before then, I will make myself available to you. Okay, and follow up with it. So, if you found this, what do you think? Okay, so now we're done.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Train wreck or value?
I mean, I thought it was fun, so I think that had value in it.
All right, if you're watching this all the way to the end, post on here train wreck or value.
There you go. Frankly, if you're watching this all the way to the end, you're better than me because if it's more than like 5 minutes.
Oh, you see what Kimberly says? You just called someone stupid, but she can't use the word heck.
I know.
I'm the parent, Kim. I can say whatever I want to say. I've got like that parent trump card. I mean, come on, you know that. This is the joy of being a parent, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
But thank you for pointing that out, Kim. I appreciate that. All right. If you did find this of value, leave a comment. In all seriousness, if you have questions, be happy to answer some questions. And if you are in a job search, now this will be a shameless plug. If you are in a job search, go to here. Can you write something down? Can you get like a piece of paper? We need to no, you have to get a piece of paper off the printer.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna see. This is sort of proof that we really didn't do this in advance because I didn't even have this piece of paper written down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so just write down maximizeothers.com/ now maximizeothers.com/ that's mine. Yes, it is. John David just walked in. I will not turn the camera to John David, but he just walked in and took the USB. Okay, maximizeothers.com/ and you might want to write down here so they can actually get it.
Okay.
The THE dash job dash search dash journey. maximizeothers.com / the dash job dash search dash journey. And so hopefully, I don't know if this is going to be like reversed or not, but
that's an E right there. I just had to squish.
Yeah, maximizeothers.com / the dash job dash search dash journey. So if you're, hey Todd, how you doing? So if you are in a job search and you found this more value and less train wreck, or if you found it a lot of train wreck but it was entertaining, then you might want to check out the job search journey. I should like redo that, but it's the dash job dash search.
Oh, see, I already messed it up.
Dash journey. The job search journey with dashes or hyphens in there. So all right. Hey, if you thought this was fun, let us know. And we'll do it again maybe sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, hi from India. India. Wow, it must be like 10 o'clock at night in India. So thanks for joining, Mr. Todd. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend and you are doing work that you love.
Yeah.
Make sense?
I think that makes sense.
See you guys.
Bye.